doing tonight? Well, good. Thanks for being here. We should sell tickets to this event. Popcorn, peanuts. Okay. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed, and the annual meeting are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the Municipal Center and published on the record within the first 10 days of the new year. Okay, so next we're going to do the salute to the flag. But before we start, we have the Tenafly Tigers here, plus we have the Wits Club here. So Dan, do we have a couple of members who would like to help with the pledge? And Mrs. Hess, do we have a couple of members who would like to help with the Pledge of Allegiance? You come up? Oh yeah, you can come on up here. It's even better. Okay, so you guys stand here and facing the flag. All right, then you start the Pledge of Allegiance when you're ready. All right, we'll do it on three. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We appreciate your help. Thank you. Thank you. Omar, can I have a roll call, please?
Sure, I got it. Councilmember Corsair?
Here.
Councilmember Menon? Here. Councilmember Michaels?
Present.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Here.
Councilmember Park? Here. Councilmember Rolary? Here. Mayor Zinna?
Here. Okay, first we're going to do the Wits Club proclamation. Thank you very much, guys, for putting this together. And child safety is extremely important, right? Yes. So great work, as always. Okay, so I'm going to read this whole proclamation. Whereas Children Product Safety Awareness Month was proposed by the Wits Club and designated to create awareness that all products used by children, not just toys, must be thoroughly vetted for safety. And whereas Children's Product Safety Awareness Month was enacted into law in 2013 at the urging of WITS, a group of school children who wanted to make life and play safer for children across New Jersey. And whereas the WITS Club students are 3rd through 5th graders at Stillman Elementary School in Tenafly. Let's hear it for Stillman. An after-school club devoted to identifying problems in society and pushing for changes to rectify those problems. And whereas in 2009, a member of WITS went to Trenton to see a bill on children's product safety pass. A year later, the club went to Trenton again and was compelled to make the law more apparent by designating November as Children's Product Safety Awareness Month. And whereas students spoke before members of the State Assembly in support of the initiative, Governor Chris Christie signed the bill into law on May 9th, 2013. Still no follow-up action to support the law, so the students wrote to their senator, assemblywoman, the Division of Consumer Affairs, and Governor Christie in October 2015. And whereas on November 2nd, 2015, Governor Christie responded to the WITS children and issued a proclamation making November Children's Product Safety Awareness Month in New Jersey. Whereas the mayor and council urged Tenafly parents to be selective in their toys and children's products when choosing such items to bring into their homes as we approach the holiday season. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mark Zinna, do hereby proclaim the month of November as Children's Product Safety Awareness Month in the borough of Tenafly. Thank you very much. You guys want to take some pictures? Oh, go ahead. Come up to the microphone. Yep, bend it down right towards you. Go ahead. Yep.
Children's Product Safety Awareness Month was proposed by our WITS Club and designed to create awareness that all products used by children, not just toys, must be thoroughly vetted for safety.
Thank you for issuing the proclamation again in New Jersey so that parents in New Jersey to learn more about safe play and to review their children's products. Children have the right to safe, fun, and beneficial play.
Thank you very much. Great job. I'm going to bring them the proclamation. Thank you. Okay, here's the proclamation. You guys want to take pictures or what? Yes. All right, so come over here. Face the audience. Why don't you two hold the proclamation in the front? No, it's not right here. Just turn around. Turn around, face the audience. Okay?
Say Stillman rules.
Stillman rules.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. Great job. Okay. Okay, now we're going to move on to the 10U Tenafly Tigers Little League team. Okay, so first off, congratulations, and I'm going to read one of the proclamations, and then Omar, the borough clerk, is going to have individuals sign congratulations for each of the team members, okay? All right. So the Borough of Tenafly Mayor and Borough Council proudly presents to the 10U Tenafly Tigers Little League Baseball team in recognition of your championship win in the 10U USA BL Championship on November 1st, 2024, and certified on this 12th day of November in the year 2024. So congratulations, guys. Does the team want to take some pictures also, Dan? Okay, so line them up and come on up.
And the coaches.
And the coaches.
And the coaches.
This is like the best part of the job.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over here right
Just gotta keep winning.
Who wants to hold
That's a nice jersey. It's all right.
You're important. You've got all these skins in. Congratulations.
Oh, there's Dorothy.
Yeah.
Can you get one from the county?
Nice.
Where is Dorothy calling in from?
California.
Hi, I'm in California.
Dorothy Quincy, are you there?
Yes, yeah. Can you all hear me?
Can we hear her? Hold on, we're working on it. Make sure you're not
Thank you.
muted.
Okay.
She's not. No, she's not muted. It's just the speaker's really low.
All right, speak up, Dorothy.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes, like where in California are you?
In San Francisco.
Where is she? San Francisco. Oh, congratulations. Good. You enjoying it?
Mark, you want to give 2
So
minutes?
far, yes, yeah. Is this
We're going to
can
wait
you-
2 minutes. Some people are leaving the council chambers.
Thank you, Nurse Hess.
Take care, guys. Good to see you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Hess. Always my pleasure. They can stay. You're welcome to stay.
Actually, she's. But yes, stay for this one. This
You
is
can
a
stay.
nice thing. It's a couple minutes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some interesting things, actually. It's good. What? No, it's good. They can stay out late. All right, are we ready? Okay. All right, Dorothy, we've got to have a little quiet because we have someone on Zoom from San Francisco, and it's hard to hear her. Dorothy Quincy, how you doing?
Hi, I'm really good. Thank you all for inviting me to join you today. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person.
So we're here to recognize Dorothy Quincy, who's done a whole bunch of excellent environmental work and composting work for the borough of Tenafly, and she's relocated out to San Francisco. You know, it's our loss and San Francisco's benefit, so, you know, we hope you come back soon, Dorothy. I know Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor has a recognition statement she would like to read for you. So, Dr. O'Connor, go ahead when you're ready.
So Dorothy, one of the reasons I was trying to get you to the meeting in person was not to read all the metrics of all of the food waste we've diverted by now, as you kept saying, I have all these things ready to present. No, it was to recognize you for this amazing work that you have done for a year. And we are so grateful for you having started our compost program a year ago in October. And I'm going to be reading a proclamation that was given from the town of Tenafly for you. We also have the Environmental Commission. We have some gifts for you for when you're back in town. So we're really glad that you made our community a better place. So we're grateful, and I'm going to read a proclamation, and then Councilman Park will also be presenting you something as well. Okay. So here's the proclamation from the Borough of Tenafly. Whereas Dorothy Quincy, a graduate of Tenafly Schools, has helped Tenafly start its first ever food composting program and used her skills to assist our community in becoming more sustainable. Whereas over 20,000 pounds of food waste, over 10 tons, have been diverted from landfills through her initiative. Whereas by spearheading efforts to bring neighborhood compost to the borough, Ms. Quincy has helped Tenafly reduce landfill methane emissions and recycle nutrients back to the soil. Whereas in addition to initiating the program, Ms. Quincy has spoken to numerous Tenafly students, visiting different schools, educating the next generation about responsible environmental stewardship. Whereas Ms. Quincy has worked closely with the borough's environmental commission to be an effective liaison among the different stakeholders, allowing this program to become a success. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly, we appreciate Dorothy Quincy's service to the community. During her tenure, Dorothy has exhibited the utmost dedication to the environment on a daily basis. We are grateful to Dorothy for her efforts, which have not only helped Tenafly, but the broader community. And Councilman Park has something too.
There are 70 towns in Bergen County. We are one of the most forward ones in this topic. 20,000 pounds of food is a lot. And I told the county exec about this, and he has prepped you a commendation for your efforts as well. And hurry back so you can pick this up.
Thank you so much.
I want to just we do have an audience full of people here. I want to plug the fact we do have a composting
Good plug.
program.
Always
Please
plug it.
join Tenafly Compost.
Always plug it.
We're always accepting members. It is great that you get a bucket, you bring it over. My Stillman family, there's one at the end of Windsor. Dorothy, did you want to say anything real quick?
Oh, I'm at a loss Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind recognition, and it has been such a pleasure to.
Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. It has been a huge pleasure to be able to be of service to Tenafly, having spent so many years of my childhood and my whole life in this community. So I'm really excited, particularly for the students in the room, to carry forward the intention of environmental stewardship and being of service to the community and one another, and recognizing that that often comes in close contact with taking care of our earth. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Dorothy, thank you very much. We look forward to having you back real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you for inviting me here.
All right, take care. Have a good night. Bye.
Joy, you couldn't make that care.
Okay, next on the agenda is to be considered. I'm going to, if the council's okay with it, I'm told there's some people here who want to talk about the post office RFP. So I'm going to just switch to be considered to make the post office parking lot discussion first. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay, so for members of the public who have not or are not aware or haven't followed on this particular topic, so our senior center is in desperate need of replacement. It is, Don, what is it? 2 trailers basically bolted together? It's
I think that's.
right,
That's
and
legit.
I think they were temporary trailers that were taken from one of the schools originally, wasn't it? From Stillman School about 30 years ago, 25 years ago. They were brought to where the senior center is now, bolted together, and it's time for anyone who goes to the senior center knows they certainly deserve, and the building needs to be replaced. And so in the conversations about how that happens, of course, all that construction costs a lot of money. And so we kind of all put our seniors and ourselves, we put our heads together, and we came up with this thought of potentially using the post office parking lot as a new location for the senior center. The land is owned by the borough of Tenafly. And what we came up with was the concept of why not lease the land, not sell it, we are always going to keep it, lease the land out to someone who could build a new senior center for the borough, a little bit larger than what's there now and a much better layout, at no cost to the borough, and then also allow the builder to maybe build a restaurant there and a couple of floors of offices above that. The purpose being that the borough would then potentially enter into a long-term lease with the builder. The builder would build the whole thing at their expense, and part of the deal would be we would be using the senior center at no cost to the borough permanently. So it's kind of in the best interest of the town and the seniors, the taxpayers, everyone. So that's what the council and I were going to talk about now. And then when we're done with that part of the conversation, if anyone has questions on that topic or comments, they'll be welcome to come up to the microphone to have their voices heard. Okay, who's got questions about this? Comments? We added the issue about the liquor license. Why don't you
So
talk about that a
I'm
little bit?
just going to jump in a little bit. The idea being that we would put out a request for qualifications and proposals rather than a straight bid for a lease, so that the council would retain the opportunity to evaluate proposals that come in rather than, making it based on a straight lease kind of situation. The developer would have the opportunity to put other uses there as well. It does specify a certain space for the senior center so that we can ensure that we are building a larger, slightly larger facility, because our membership numbers have increased every year, which is fabulous. Also, the regular uses that would be allowed in the downtown, such as restaurants, office space, as the mayor said. One of the benefits of it remaining borough property is that the borough could also assist in obtaining what's called concession permit, which is the equivalency of a liquor license, but for public property. So that would also be an opportunity for anybody that were to provide a proposal for this space.
Okay, questions or comments from the council?
Sorry?
The proposed duration of it?
The proposed duration right now would be 99 years, based to cover construction costs and a build out planning for lease payments as well. So that's could be changed if the council would want, but that's what the proposal as in draft form right now specifies.
Comments? Go
Just
ahead.
a question about what did you say about the parking for this facility?
So let's talk about the parking for a little. The question is about how do we handle the parking? So when new senior center, if this building, when it comes to fruition, obviously the old building wouldn't be needed anymore. That would be torn down. That entire area back there would become parking facilities for the borough.
More expressly, though, there is another adjacent parking lot that fronts Summit Street that, as part of this proposal, we are also requesting, there is a couple steps down into that parking lot to connect it to. Right now, we would be looking for somebody to make it ADA compliant of a connection so that there is parking right adjacent to, it's just going to be coming off Summit Street.
Which we already own.
Which we already own.
We already own that, correct.
And I'm sorry, another point is that any successful bidder would also have to repave that parking lot.
Right.
The reason I was asking is because I think, with regard to the post office itself. So because that's not moving, right? So then you said the parking lot is kind of on the other side of the post office.
Right, it's actually just behind the post office, just fronting Summit Street. And let's not forget, there's also still parking across the street by the basketball courts, and the other side of Washington, there's still a parking lot and street parking.
Anu, please.
This is just one proposal, right? There are other proposals that are out there.
What do you mean?
There's the we're talking about the RFP post office.
Right.
Right, but in terms of this is all connected with the senior center and potential, what we're going to do with how we're going to eventually getting you a senior center.
Correct.
Are there other proposals besides just
Other
what
ideas?
we're talking?
You mean like other RFPs?
Are
No,
there
other ideas, other solutions.
Ideas for the senior center. So again, this is our request for qualifications and proposals. So if you don't like what comes in, you can move on to
Right.
another idea.
So we're not required, or nobody's required
No.
to go
Correct.
with this.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
There's
Right,
no-
if these are
Specifically-
terrible,
Everything is specifically written so that you have come to us with ideas. If we don't like them, have a nice day. We'll do something else. There's no obligation on the borough to do, for the borough to actually do anything as a result of this RFP.
And it doesn't have to be a developer coming in and doing the.
No,
It could be anything is on the table.
anything.
Yeah.
If you want to build it, you can build it.
Yeah, so
there's probably laws against that.
Based on this request for qualifications and proposal,
Yeah.
the only thing that must be done is a senior center.
Correct.
Everything else is
Optional.
for this
Correct.
particular, yes, qualification.
And Wendy,
proposal.
just to clarify on the long-term lease, understand that there's a cost recoup and everything else. But at 99 years, there are performance obligations to give the borough the right to terminate the lease. I would assume that there are maintenance specifications and requirements that we would build in anything that came in, such that 10 years in, if something's not going well, we had some optionality around it on a performance basis.
So that's not written into the proposal qualification at the moment because this is still a conceptual idea. That would be something that we need to make sure that we're comfortable with prior to entering into a lease agreement.
Step two.
Any questions from the council before we ask the members of the public? Okay. Would anyone like to make a comment or have a question about this particular topic only? If you do, you're welcome to come up to the microphone. Come on, Don. So Don, just give us your name, not your address.
Tube, Tenafly residents. I'm the president of the senior center, as you all know. I think the ComSec is the only way we're going to get a senior center. The only thing that I know the members are going to be concerned is that when it's built that we do have inputs, I'm sure we will have. We like to make it so when we're using this center, nobody can tell us what to do and how to do it. As far as having a bar or whatever next to us, if it's in the evening, that won't be a problem. The seniors will probably leave the center and go have a drink. So it might be.
Right.
I don't know who would do that, but anyway. But we would like to have, an input control, especially on the layout. But other than that, people are going to say, well, if you have apartments or if you have office on top, we can't have everything. So that's my
Understood.
take on
Okay.
it. So I really appreciate that you and I should have working. So
Okay.
let's hope for the best.
All right. Let's
Thank
hope for the
you.
best. Thank you for your comment. Would anyone else like to speak or have a question? Just give us your name, not your address, please.
My name is George Rath. My question is, hi. My question is, what is the deadline to get back these quotations?
Okay, so what we're going to do tonight, after all the public comment, I'm going to ask for a motion and a vote from the council to move forward with this. And then what will happen is our borough attorney, Wendy, with the borough administrator, David, they'll do the calculation of whether it's due back in 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. We want to give people more time than less time so that they have time to come up with some creative thoughts for the whole process. And this way everyone becomes aware of it. And conceptual design, right, it can't be turned around too quickly. Any other questions or comments on this topic? No? Any other comments from the council? Or Omar, anybody out on Zoom?
Heads up.
And I think we have a gentleman here who'd like to come to the microphone. Just give us your name, not your address.
Okay, hello, my name is Chris Ambrosi. I just wanted to say, I'm just going to make a comment, it's not a question. So basically, I think that any new senior center should have all of the amenities that our current senior center building has, and more.
Right.
So all the amenities we have, plus more. Sounds good.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Omar, is there anyone on Zoom who's looking like they want to make a comment?
See no hands, Mayor.
No hands? All right, so if the council doesn't have any questions, if somebody would like to make a motion so that we can move this forward and get it out to the public.
Second.
Omar, call the roll, please.
Sure. Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Minute?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Roller?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, everyone. So you and Wendy will work on the schedule. We'll get that out. Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate your input tonight. It's council and I, it's very important that we have an understanding of the people who will be using it the most, how they feel about it. Of course. All right, so we're going to go to Leroy Street. John Jar, we're going to talk about sidewalks on Leroy, and after that, we'll do the recess or reorg calendar. And the chief is here too. Chief is going to be part of this conversation. Why don't you move to the front row, Chief? You're hiding back there. That's why he was there. John, step up to the microphone, please. How you doing, Chief?
The chief should have to join me.
I'm here for other business also too.
The court chief has to put up with me on every other thing, so.
All right, so we're here to talk about the sidewalks on Leroy Street. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Then I guess I'll just jump real quick. Okay, so we've done two reports for Leroy Street. All right, the first report was primarily based in speeding and safety concerns that were happening out there. It wasn't as focused on putting a sidewalk in, although that question was out there. So for simplicity, we looked at the safety of the road. We made some recommendations with regard to some things that could be done on Leroy Street to make it safer. And we throw that into the town, spoke with the chief. He and I were both in agreement on, narrowing the road and putting some flashing beacons, a driver feedback sign, and, some other ideas to keep it safer. We did look at the possibility of putting sidewalk. We made just an initial review. We didn't delve real deep into it because it seemed that would be very, very expensive and it might not be the best use of public funds at the time. The administrator got back to me and said, nope, we want a little deeper dive into the sidewalk. Specifically, the ask was, can I narrow Leroy Street, excuse me, and put in a sidewalk on Leroy Street? And can you now look also at Elkwood Terrace and see if from the Englewood line at East Hudson Street to
Bliss.
Bliss Street, correct?
Yeah.
Could we possibly put sidewalks there? So first thing is we have to do things by the rules. The first set of rules is called RSIS, Residential Site Improvement Standards. The other set of rules is called AASHTO, American Association of State and Highway Officials, okay? Those are the two guidebooks that tell us how wide the road needs to be, how wide the sidewalk has, what you can do, what you can't do. Those are the rules, okay? You can't break those rules. Leroy Terrace is designed per RSIS standards, and so is Elkwood, all right? But there are important rules we need to consider. So Leroy Street is a 30-foot wide street. It provides for a travel lane in each direction, and it allows for parking on both sides. We currently do not have any no parking ordinance on Leroy Street, but RSIS allows for a 30-foot wide road to be designed and built this manner. Elkwood is very different. Elkwood varies from 30 to 26 feet, but Elkwood has an ordinance on our books that prohibits parking on both sides. So Elkwood also meets the requirements of RSIS. By having no parking allowed on either side, a 26-foot wide road is allowed. Okay, so we have currently 2 conforming streets. On Leroy, we could physically build a sidewalk on the southbound side, adjacent to where the school is, all the way down to Woodland Park. Okay, Woodland Park Drive, so Woodland Park Drive down to the school. From Bliss to Woodland Park Drive, we could build southbound sidewalk within the roads. We can take the road, we can reprofile it.
You said Bliss to Woodland?
Right. Woodland Park Drive is where the school is, and Bliss is the other natural.
So just for clarification, building it in the road so we don't have to deal with all the construction logistics of people's property. Okay.
Correct. And so there'll still be a little bit, but much, much less than if we looked at the northbound side. So southbound side, Leroy, which where it makes sense, you could narrow the road. All right, you could put a curb in, we could put a little grass strip and a sidewalk, and put a safe pedestrian walking path. There will be a couple challenges, okay? There are some areas with a really steep drop off. There are some other challenges, but it is physically doable. A little bit more complicated for Elkwood, okay? Because Elkwood does not provide the width, we would not be able to narrow the street to build a sidewalk. But I'd like to point out to council that Elkwood has a 50-foot right-of-way. So that means most likely there is enough room behind the curb to build a border and a sidewalk. But I must warn you, a number of the residents have been very good stewards, and they've built beautiful landscaping. They've done a great job of taking care of the town's property. Okay, most likely they think at this point they think it is their property, not understanding that the town is right of way. There's some really beautiful landscaping has been put in. Okay, so in the section between Bliss and the Englewood line, we would definitely want to meet with those property owners before going too far. We definitely want to do a very thorough right-of-way review if you wanted to put sidewalk behind the curb. So to answer your question very directly, Leroy Place, you may build a sidewalk within the roadway section, narrow the road, prohibit parking on both sides, and create a allowable cross-section per RSI standards. For Elkwood Terrace, you would only be able to build the sidewalk behind the curb, and you would also be, again, you'd be able to meet the required standards, but there is the challenge of making sure that those property owners, are communicated with to get that. My recommendation, if you wanted to proceed forward with this, would be to not go too far. First step I would recommend is we do a concept plan, and then have a community meeting and make sure we get a mailing out to everybody along there and make them aware of what's going on. And then maybe we could do what we call a walking school bus, where we do a community meeting, tell everybody about it, have the concept plan, and then offer to meet everybody out on Leroy and Elkwood and walk them through what the concept plan is, give them an opportunity to see, what's proposed. That would be my recommendation to move forward, should you want to consider going forward with the sidewalk. I think I covered everything.
So there is a sidewalk right now in the back of the school.
Yep.
And there is parking, people park there.
It's like a drop-off or pickup zone.
Okay, so when you say all the way to Woodland Park, would you stop the sidewalk when you got to the school and then pick it up again afterwards? Is that
So,
what you would do? Or you would
You
leave it
you
at-
take the sidewalk at the school, and we come back out into the street. Right now, it's actually kind of set back a little. All right, it actually is like a giant tree at the end where it is. All right, so we bring that sidewalk out into the street. All right, we build a new curb in the street and put a new sidewalk in and a border strip to make it safe, all the way down to Bliss.
Okay, and you would still be able to do a drop off and,
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, it's perfectly, where the drop off is now is perfectly safe, meets standards, there's nothing, it's spot on.
Chief, do you have comments about this?
I'm not against the building it in the street, building it not in the street. I would be against. It would be such a massive disruption of people's properties and the loss of trees. I know this is a tree city, USA. You'd have some majestic trees that are taken out, and driveway pillars and
You're
all types
talking,
of great
you're talking about on
landscaping.
Leroy?
Yeah.
Well, Leroy, at this,
No,
Leroy would be a no tree reduction plan. Elkwood, we'd have to have a whole nother level of conversations.
Elkwood, something again, something, I know the properties on the south side, something there's gonna be massive disruption there also too. It's not as many houses. Listen, I was one who pushed for sidewalks on Downey years ago for the school.
Yeah.
Now that had a direct nexus to children's safety in the school. So while I felt bad, something encroaching people's properties, a little bit different than just pedestrians walking the street, which I'm not trying to diminish that, but that was more for kids, something directly going to the school. To remove parking on both sides of the street, something that, that's a luxury that they've had for quite some time. I mean, if we could do it with removing parking on one side and not the other side, he's shaking his head now.
That does not conform to the rules.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're going to get the buy-in and the support. I mean, again, ultimately it's your decision anyway, but you do want to try and meet the residents, something most of the way.
Okay, Julie, go ahead, please.
I'm not as familiar with Smith, but I think I want to actually drill down on one of your points. Is there a benefit this is for everyone who's more familiar with the school than me, is there a benefit to having the sidewalks just on Leroy for the purposes of doing this and not do Elkwood? Is there a benefit to that? I don't know.
Sure, there is, because obviously it's a longer span it's a longer distance and people walk there. I believe the people that really were pushing this really wanted to be able to, their point was that Englewood has a sidewalk on Elkwood Terrace and then it basically stops, and they wanted to have it continue something obviously to the Englewood section. So if we only did Leroy, then we'd have a block where it's not there, and then it starts again. So that would be a little odd, a little counterproductive, I think.
John, I have
So
a
that's
question.
interesting.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, just that if you're doing this, but then you're not wanting to interrupt the Elkwood, then is there a reason to do the Leroy? That's the question. You're like, not really?
No, I think you should, if you want to do it, I think you can still do it. I think the course won't very long. Elkwood is a small
I think it's only like 2 houses, 3 houses that would be affected by it.
It would be weird,
Yeah.
but not, you still want to do it, you want to do it. I think they did a lot of parking though. I think people park there. I think if you would parking will be in.
From Woodland Park Drive all
Bliss.
the way to Bliss.
All the way to Bliss.
Actually,
For sporting events, for example, things get voted up. Saturdays and Sundays, it's sledding, either this or that, Sunday I can't park there at all. Where's this part of it? You've got that.
This is the reason why you have to really.
It's not so easy.
You have to think this through thoroughly, and remember, there's positive and negatives. If you want to build that in the road, the rules are clear on what we have to do. You have to prohibit parking on both sides.
And we're really not talking about anything north. Yeah, it's,
Or goes up the hill.
right, Woodland Park to Howard Park Drive, to Sternhurst, Stonehurst, all the way, yeah. So it's a little bit, patchwork.
Well, it's the streets that are directly adjacent to the school property. So it's part school, but it's also, there's a lot more pedestrians in the neighborhood that are walking, trying to enjoy walking, something. So, yeah.
Fully understand walking to school.
Yeah.
Again, if you're south, this
This
Yeah.
idea is
Yeah.
walking to school.
If you're north, good luck.
Right.
The other thing is something hard about parking. What if people then park off of that street, park on the side of the streets, they're not walking in the street, which is having the sidewalk. Because they're parking on a side road that doesn't have a sidewalk, that's an equal, right?
The challenge you're facing is one I face in every community that's more than 20 minutes. And that is, years and years ago, we just didn't really think we needed that many sidewalks. Sidewalks are really the greatest thing ever now because people are really walking a lot more now. But we have an older community, so we have to work with these challenges. And this is, you're there.
It's funny though, and my colleagues have attest, it's many conversations that we had on this. Equally, if you remember, just a few months back, we had a few conversations around, look, no one else has sidewalks. I want to get rid of my sidewalk in front of my house. So, let's see if we want that.
All right, so what do you want, should we have John prepare kind of proposal for the development of the concept plan and then discuss it at the next meeting to be considered? Well, what do you think, David?
I really
What do you
think
think? What do we?
Yeah, this is where we are with engineering. We are expending a lot of money in engineering as things pop up during the year. So what I would suggest is that if we want to do this study, we put it into temporary capital.
Okay.
For the 2025 budget, do the concept plan of the study, and then that will inform cost-wise and all-in project cost-wise if we do a permanent project when we do the permanent capital.
Okay, that's fine.
Would it also be worth getting the
I forget.
resident feedback of the
I
folks
forgot.
that live on the street that are gonna lose their street parking?
Yes, that would all be done with the concept plan scenario.
Yeah, you would want to have, people would want to, they would want to see the whole picture of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
So I'm clear. We want to do a concept plan. We want to do a community meeting and a walking bus route.
Well, I think we gotta figure out and talk about it. There's nothing now.
yeah, we're going to
2025.
put this on the agenda to be considered for the council and now discuss the plan. Now that we've got your top level presentation, which is perfect, thank you. We need to go into a deep dive of timing steps. What's next?
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
I'm available for questions as you guys.
Any more questions? Anyone? No?
Or ask the chief because everything I do gets coordinated through him.
Understood. We appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You see here for East Clinton Avenue traffic light? No, that's done, right?
What?
The traffic light, East Clinton Avenue, you don't need him for that, right? That's not tonight, right? Nah, right?
If he's
Nothing
giving
on that.
updates, we want updates, yeah.
Take it.
We'll take it.
So East Dean and Clinton, town recently executed the contracts. Contractor reached out today. We're going to be setting up the pre-construction meeting. I'll be inviting some folks that are here.
Good.
Bergen County, and we should get underway. We'll have to see what construction we get done between now and the end of the year. Signal equipment will be ordered within the next week or two. We already approved all the shop drawings and all the equipment. It's on a very, very long back order, but they tell me we may be able to have it by the end of next year, or so we're going to push real hard on getting that.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
How has the downtown been working? We made some pretty significant changes to the way the lights work.
When are we gonna get I know we spoke about this, bit of a post analysis on, are we seeing the speed up through?
So I think the final touches were put in around the end of September, John. So
Actually, just yesterday?
All right, so
Yeah, I saw the
you
crew
wanna
up there.
study that for 30 or 60 days?
Yeah, we need to
Get
let
back
things
to us?
settle in for a little bit. I would honestly think we need to get through the holidays because the traffic's gonna be all screwy now for the next couple of months.
No,
So-
it seems great.
Yeah. Yeah, let's recircle back, say, February, March, maybe. I'll talk to the chief and if he'll come back in and you guys can observe for me. And please give feedback though. The best way of us making this better for everyone and to do better quality of life for everyone, make these things work is giving us feedback. You're very welcome to, please.
Okay.
Great to see
Thank
you
you.
guys. Good night.
Thank
I have
you.
a very quick question for you, John. Is there only one, because I get this question, is there only one company that makes traffic lights in the country?
No, there's many, but because of COVID and supply chain issues, there's a very limited number of companies that make the bases and the poles and the arms. the three main components.
Okay.
And they're on terrible backlog. It's been a problem. They're starting to get caught up a little bit, but COVID really knocked that industry on its ear.
Okay, all right. Great, thank you, John. Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's move on to the 2025 calendar recess and reorg meeting schedule.
So there are a couple of, everything in my life is backwards. So if you start from the bottom, I think there's just a couple typos. So Tuesday, the 3rd of December is actually the 2nd.
Second.
Yeah, so the 2nd and the 16th. Okay, so that's when you first put up, and then 7:30. Is there any reason why it's 7:45 for the last meeting?
It's just a traditional.
15 minutes later.
15 minutes later, yeah.
Can we change the I love.
You want to get rid of the tradition? Yes. Omar, let's make it at 7:30.
I hope you're late that day.
Right, let's take away the John Muller Dobbs and that tradition. Was there a reason, so if you go up to, so I'm all for it, but just make sure we call it out. So there's no October 7th for a particular reason?
It's no October 7th.
There's probably holidays in there.
Coat.
I love consistency. Yes. We do two a quarter, 2 a month, except for the summer and.
So you have, excuse my pronunciation of the holiday, but Sukkot. Sukkot. So it would fall in that range. So it's October 6th, 2025, and it ends Monday, October 13th, 2025.
I would
the
say
second
though
night.
that finance does have an issue with as many months as we go with having one meeting. With bill list and so forth. So we can make October 2 meetings, we all discuss.
So where can we put an extra meeting in October?
And then the same thing in
Thursday
November.
usually.
Because I know we typically have two meetings in October.
How about October 9th?
October 9th.
Still in Sukkot.
Falls within that range.
It's okay, so it's the first 2 days though.
Yeah, I just must be my brother.
October 9th?
October 9th?
Okay. No problem.
Tuesday?
And then on that, November, next year, you have the 4 Tuesdays. The first Tuesday is Election Day, so this room is utilized. The second Tuesday is Veterans Day next year. And then the third Tuesday is probably going to conflict with the League of Municipalities schedule.
Yeah,
And then
most
that
likely.
brings us to
Thanksgiving.
the Thanksgiving.
What about the first Monday in November? What day is it?
No, because the room's going to be used. It's going to have all the equipment in here.
Monday. You could do Monday.
No, the equipment's going to be here.
Well, Omar, can we use the council chambers on Monday the 1st? Monday
How
the
about,
3rd?
how about Thursday, the after Veterans Day? Because today's after Veterans Day. There's a
Good with
Thursday.
that?
November 13th.
I don't know. I'm just doing conceptual.
Just FYI, though, like in my school, we have the voting machines come in and they're outside. And you think this will be set?
Well, that's a question for Omar. He's right.
Well, we did have a meeting, a special meeting, October 30th. The voting machines were here. I just had one on the side.
Yeah.
So do you want to do it then the day before? Will that work?
So November 3rd, Monday, November 3rd.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, no,
He's-
that's not going to work.
You could just
So let's do, how about the Thursday?
Sleep in bed.
Thursday the 6th.
6.
That should work Thursday.
Everybody good with Thursday the 6th?
That's probably teachers' convention.
Yeah.
I don't,
So it's all yeses I'm hearing.
so the 10th is Monday. Monday the 10th?
The only thing
No,
is
Thursday
though.
the 6th.
No, the teachers' convention.
Yeah.
So who here is going? Oh, you're going.
All kids are all.
No, they're saying their kids are
All
off.
kids are off.
My kids are being charged.
Just because you're lucky.
I was about to say we have no kids on the city council right now.
My kids are gone. I'll probably be there.
All right, so you're suggesting what
I'm
now?
the teacher.
Monday?
I'll be here.
Monday what?
Monday the 10th?
Everybody good with Monday the 10th?
Yes.
Omar, it's Monday the 10th.
Okay.
And And then if you go up to February, March, and April, maybe I couldn't see the holidays, but we do 1 week after the other, like February 25th and March 4th, and then we do April 29th and May 6th. That's every week. So I don't know why we weren't doing
April 22nd.
we can take it offline, but you know, it should be February 25th and March 11th and 25th.
Well, January, you're going to be on the 14th and the 28th, so your meeting should probably move to the 11th. So it's whether or not you have the 25th or you leave March 4th.
Well, I think you're okay.
Well, I think
14th,
it is-
28th, 11th is fine.
I think what I'm saying is you're the 2nd and 4th in February. but
Right, it
then
should always be the
first and
2nd and
third
4th, right.
In March.
It should always be the 2nd and 4th of every month.
No, it's usually the first and third.
Let's say 4th and 18th.
So let's take it offline on that. The only thing that we should talk about as a team is, so the reorganization meeting we have this Friday night.
Why do we want to do that on a Friday night?
Right, I'd like to stay married at least one more year.
So why don't we move it to Thursday, the 2nd?
That would be good.
Or Wednesday, the 1st?
Oh, on the.
Oh, you're talking about January 2026 though, right?
No, we're talking about January 1st or
I don't
2nd.
know if you want New Year's Day.
That's just a question.
Yeah, the 3rd, I would.
I just do the date after, because I know this.
Yeah, it's just a
What
day.
about January 5th, the
It's
Sunday?
too far in the future.
Yeah, I think.
They think you have
It's
to.
7 days.
Well, we have to reorganize by January 7th.
Yes.
So we've usually done it
The
on
weekend's a
Sunday.
bad idea. Some of
No,
us
we've
not
done
gonna
it
be
on, we've done it on a Saturday or
around. I
Sunday.
know that, but this year we're not going to have the same. I'm traveling, Adam's traveling.
Oh, you're not back in time
Right.
for the new year?
I'll be back the new year, but I won't be here that weekend.
The weekend
Right.
after New Year's?
How do you guys know where we're going to be that far? I don't know where I'm going this weekend.
So why don't we do it the 2nd?
Does that work for you, Julie?
It's fine.
Okay, so we do it on Thursday, January 2nd.
So you can work with them on those
Mark,
days
can you also check with the other council candidate? That
Yeah,
one?
I'll let her know.
Is 7:30 or 7 o'clock? I remember sometimes it'd be like the food or something.
We do the
It's
7 o'clock. It
recess
starts
meeting.
at 7.
You
and then
recess.
We close and then we start again, have food and then do 7:30.
It's a 7.
7 o'clock for the recess and 7:30 for the reorganization.
And there's food in between.
Guys, break people. No, it's just
Yeah, yeah. And then on the second page, Mark, you have the holiday schedule.
That's tradition.
This is the
anyway.
holiday schedule for Borough Hall closing?
Yes.
Is this the same as this year?
Well, you have the floating holiday, so this year was the Friday after 4th of July. So what this calendar proposes is that the employees are off a half a day for Christmas Eve and a half day for New Year's Eve, so that floating
Where's the
holiday
float?
would make both of those days full days off. That's how you,
For the floating holidays?
yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or any issues with this schedule? Okay. Do you need a motion on this schedule, Omar?
No, at next meeting, I'll just go with the resolution. Prefer.
Fabulous. Okay. We got that out of the way. Let's move on to the administrator's report.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. The first thing up is the police department staffing and equipment recommendations.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Can you talk about the leaf pickup first?
Sure. So the leaf pickup is underway. Our DPW crews are out during the entire day and are picking up a lot of leaves. Each leaf crew is probably doing 4 to 5 rounds per day. We're actually ahead, according to the director of DPW, we're ahead of where we were last year. What's happening is that, the leaves are falling a lot quicker. So it seems like there's more leaves on the street that are waiting to be picked up. But we actually started the week of October 15th. I think the 17th was the actual first day. Then we started full gear on the 21st of November. We're going to take advantage of the current dry weather and have DPW add Saturday, this coming Saturday, to have crews out on Saturday and likely the following Saturday. We can get the leaves picked up before they get wet and icing and so forth. That will help get the leaves out of the way, and will help also with the red flag warning.
Question about the Saturday. So driving around Sunday, because everyone's home, raking leaves on Saturday, would Sunday be a better day instead of a Saturday
Sunday, you
rotation?
have to pay double time. But you could, we'd be paying time and a half on Saturday.
Right,
so
right,
it's
right,
really
no.
the pleasure of
Okay.
council.
Just
It's an art form, it's right.
Yeah,
Saturday
that's
and
what I mean.
Sunday,
Yeah,
not a science.
because Sundays, it's just sitting there for till Monday.
You want to do one Saturday.
Oh yeah. Start with the Saturday, Sunday.
Just see how the first Saturday goes. Let's see what kind of progress we get the first Saturday.
All right.
Okay, and we'll judge it the second weekend.
So on the police department staffing and equipment, the police commission met last Wednesday and heard some recommendations from the chief. The CFO, myself, were also a part of that meeting. We came up with the recommendation number one to permit the chief to hire 4 officers from the police recruitment testing interviews, which were completed on Thursday, November 7th. This will backfill 3 operational vacancies and increase the force to 37. However, the net operational force will be 35, as 2 of the 37 are SROs, which would only be available to the chief 30% of the year. The Tenafly School District is going to reimburse us at 70% for each SRO for the full cost per school year, which we negotiated up from 50% at the ending of last year. Second, we're moving some funding that we have in old unneeded permanent financing into an ordinance for surveillance cameras and plate readers and other equipment, investigative equipment that the chief would need. That is on, I believe, for first reading tonight and public hearing on the 26th. And the chief is here if you had some questions for him. But I believe that the police commission, by these actions, have responded to the concerns that we had at the special meeting and to satisfy the chief's immediate needs and to place him in a good position moving forward. So,
Chief, would you like to come back up?
It's good legwork.
Chief.
Are these additive from what you have requested at budget time, right? Because I remember you saying during the special meeting that we've always supplied you with what you've requested. Is this something that was something that came about as maybe allows you to get things a little quicker, or?
It was evolving, and it was based upon some conversations that we had with the police commission. Again, I got hired back in 1994, 32 years ago, and we had a force of 32 people. I mean, yeah, no, I'm sorry, 37 people. I think the highest Tenafly ever was 38 people, and then we had actually gone down to 33, something, and we were managing. But the call volume is extremely high right now. That's been something that's been consistent for quite some time, and it's across the board. And then you factor in all the mandates. It's something that the Attorney General keeps throwing us with training. So we have people that are constantly out that are training, FMLA, something with the outages there. And then we went through some unfortunate, unexpected separations. We had people that transferred out of here, transferred. Someone wanted to be fireman, didn't want to be a police officer, something, and then someone wanted to go back to being an engineer, something. So we experienced a lull. In addition to, we have about 5 to 6 officers that tomorrow could say, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm retiring. So, and it takes about 9 months to actually get a police officer something replaced because of all the training and the academy and the backgrounds. So, and then also to the SROs, something that while they serve an extremely valuable function in the schools, they're in the schools and not on the road. Whereas back in 1994, we had 37 officers on the road. So I think that in itself justifies the need to get back to, and again, we and a lot of other departments established our table of organization based upon an FBI recommendation of 2.5 officers per 1,000 residents. So that actually is 37 point something. So it puts us in line with that recommendation. So We're not there yet. It's going to take some time to get these people trained. But when we do have them up, our response time will be better, and we'll be obviously a little more better equipped. And I thank you for recognizing this and approving it.
Chief, when did what was it last year? What was our staffing like last year?
Last year, we were probably at
The 34, right?
probably 34, and then we had an officer something that left us. We went down to 33, and another officer is in the process of leaving. It's the topic of discussion for the closed session after this, so we're still dealing with that matter. So,
and the 34 included an SRO, one SRO officer.
and then we added an SRO also
No,
too.
I'm saying the 34 included the one.
Well, two. We have two SROs.
No, that's now, but I'm saying the last year.
Yes.
Right.
23.
Yeah.
And so the 34 included the one SRO.
Yes.
So if you're adding one more, that would be 35. So you're increasing the number by two more from 35 to 37.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No,
great.
great.
In terms of what you think you need was the opening question, and then backfilled it on a database.
Got it.
Based on what the I recommends and based on household what the right number is, and where we're under, and candidly what came up in the last meeting.
A lot of things come into the conversation, including productivity tools, things like that. There's a lot of things that will change the number from just a strict, 2.5 per 2,000 or whatever. Because we've gotten productivity tools. We've gotten, and now we have cameras. But we've gotten automatic license readers. We've got, a number of things that are. Improvements in productivity, and as productivity increases, sometimes the number of officers you need can come down.
That is correct. So right now, based upon our call volume, based upon the recent crimes that we're experiencing, something right now is something we have to answer, something the challenges that we're facing. But as I presented to the police commission, something that the five or six officers are probably going to be leaving within a year or two or three. So at that point in time, it's a time and place thing. At that time and place, if you feel that basically it's not warranted to replace, then you don't replace at that point in time. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Good.
So to continue on, I'd like to turn our attention to the Tenafly Swim Club. We're continuing our due diligence. I sent around earlier today some results of the preliminary survey that the Recreation Department had posted online. So that survey had, a significant number of folks that indicated that they would like to see the pool operated by the municipality, and also that they would join if it were under a certain price. We're going to continue that survey and analyze it. Now, that to be clear, that survey is not really a scientific survey. It would allow someone to vote more than once. So we just have to take that into consideration. I also expect to receive the financial modeling report from Paul Lurch, which will be available at our November 26th meeting to present and discuss.
Okay, good.
Is there any opportunity to 6% based on total residents, 6% response rate for that survey? Is there any way to increase that?
We could blast it out again on email, ask the school to send something out, maybe in.
Snail mail.
Townwide mail.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
That's kind of hard,
Right, correct.
We can look at that.
We can look at that, sure.
All right. The next is planning for our 2025 budget. I believe that we really need to look at a strategic plan, capital plan, and then temporary capital ordinance as we move closer to the end of the year. I'd sent out a few dates, and I believe a work session, a real productive work session, getting council priorities. The capital budget and strategic plan is going to drive your operating budget. So we really need to look at what the council and mayor would like to put into the capital plan, and then nail that down, that whatever the final capital plan is that becomes a lock on any capital projects for 2025.
Yes.
so that things can't get added, which causes some havoc to funding and bond ordinances and so forth. One of the keys there is really nailing down the engineer with giving us an all-in cost. Because as it's been working over the last couple of years, I've noticed that they give one price for engineering services to a certain point, and then there's in bold and excluding the next set of services. And, in some cases, that is almost doubling the engineering cost. So I talked to Andy about that, and, we really need to get to a point where we know an all-in cost so that you're going into that knowing that the project's going to be X and it includes all of your engineering. So I'd thrown a few dates out, November 23rd, November 30th, December 7th, and possibly the morning of December 14th, because you have a holiday festival later that day. On this memo, I had targeted December 7th. But can we get to a consensus where we can have a good attendance from all the council at one of these dates?
You want to do that by writing, or you want to do it right now?
Either way. I mean, I had some responses that said some could do the 23rd, some could do the 7th.
You want to do an email reminder? David, you want to do an email tomorrow so everyone has their
Yes.
calendars in front of them?
And then we'll set it up with OR.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Next is our employee health insurance. As you know, we introduced the difference card to try to bring down the cost that we're paying purely in premiums. There is obviously, as we discussed before, a significant increase again this year from the state health benefits plan. We did have 19 employees opt into the difference card solution for 2025. I had hoped for more participation, but it does give a good cross section. However, the one key, all employees that are hired need to be issued an offer of employment by the administrator. So moving forward, I plan to only issue offers of employment with the options being limited to Blue Cross Blue Shield 2035 and the difference card, or Aetna, or one of the HMOs. Allowing or offering new employees to select the highest cost premium going forward is going to be unsustainable.
Correct.
Next, it's the time of the year where spending needs to be frozen. There's in long practice, municipalities, departments all over public sector on a county basis have thought that they need to spend everything in their budget, or else they're going to get penalized by having their budget reduced in the following year. That's not how I'm approaching the budget, but we need to ensure that there's not holiday or Christmas tree spending. So together with our CFO, we're going to clamp down on spending, and all spending that is needed post November 15th through the end of the year will require some approval by myself and by Susan to move forward, so we can sort of not expend the full budget.
Can I ask you just a question on that?
Sure.
When you say spending, is that things like the things we budgeted for argument's sake?
Yeah, sorry, but
like wood for the flower boxes?
Yeah,
for the
but
garden
more
club?
likely if
It's not that.
if they have $1,000 that they haven't spent, they don't need to go out and buy $1,000 of office supplies just because. they have $1,000.
Okay, no, but it wasn't like, if I needed the wood for the
Right.
flower box.
if it's already budgeted for it,
And if it's in the budget and they haven't procured it yet, they can make a justification that they need to buy.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
And then the 2025 municipal operating budget, what I'd like to do is have department heads be required to build their departmental staffing needs from zero, sort of to start from scratch, build the staffing, justify each position, and whether each position is necessary to be continued as full-time, could be reduced to part-time, or be a candidate for attrition in 2025. Also, the departments will be requested to determine whether their respective department is fully utilizing all software and technological tools that we have provided as they justify their staffing needs. The goal, obviously, is to cut the overall cost where possible, to provide more options as we work on the 25 budget recommendations for administration to the council.
This is awesome, and I really appreciate you putting this together. So this is also in part for our strategic offsite on where we want to prioritize. So if we could find money in places that is not as much a priority for us and put it in places where we decide as a council, working with department heads, that is a priority, now you've quote unquote found money for your priority area. So it's awesome. Thank you.
So to build off what you just said, for the staffing purposes, shared services, like you got to start thinking, because if other boroughs, let's say, are doing the same thing, do we need a full-time clerk doing this one job, or can we share among 3 towns? Things like that. I mean, I sound like a broken record.
We just did this last week, didn't we?
With the
judge, with
The clerk, yeah.
We always thought, no.
But that comes from a need, because they need a court.
That's wonderful. We can continue to do that.
But if there's a registrar that we used to share with Little Ferry, it's like that stuff. Like, oh, this other town does shared services. Let's start making phone calls. That's it.
So we would look at that and then other opportunities to host shared services. We talked last year, and the chief is here, if there's opportunities for us to host police dispatching services for some nearby towns or smaller towns, we can take a look at that. On the shared services side, as far as the borough moving into a shared service as the recipient, we would have to take a look at that.
Right,
I don't know of anything offhand.
Right. That's what that's
would fit, but certainly
let the creative juices flow.
And just to follow up, the driver on the budget, besides health insurance and wages, obviously, is pension. So for the police and firemen's retirement system, the employer contribution is 36%. And on the public employee retirement system, it's 17.5% employer contribution. So that bill keeps going up, and they're usually about 2 years behind. So that bill will increase as we move forward. One of the things that I'd like to explore, Susan and I have been talking about this, is potentially putting together a retirement incentive plan. The borough of Cresco did one in 2020 that was somewhat successful. So we'll look to do that. I think Susan has the goal, she's over there. Susan has the goal of identifying, if we could, about $2 million worth of salary that would be a candidate for this. Some of the positions we would have to backfill, but you would backfill them obviously at a lower salary. So it's something we're just putting some framework into place. So unless there's a hard no, don't consider that from the council, we'll continue to frame that out and present it in more detail in future meetings.
Yeah, let's see what you come up with.
So it's 2 million worth of salaries total.
Yeah, off of total cost. So it would be health benefits.
So that are retirement eligible.
Retirement eligible. So there are parameters. You could say they have to have 25 years of service, or you could say 15 years of service, or
right.
at retirement age, that type of thing. And Susan has put a lot of work into it and has identified a number of folks, and I think you're at about $2 million right now, right?
Right. Just the salary.
So now, as we look at this, though, not all of the positions that would be eligible would be would not be in our best interest to try to get some of those folks to retire with some of the institutional knowledge and so forth. And again, this isn't pushing anybody to retire. We have to be very, very careful with that. It's just an option that, if they are considering it, this would be something that might move them in that direction.
What else?
Just super, because you passed over, you're too modest. The Roosevelt Commons, the sport, I've heard good things about pickleball and Foursquare and all that.
Putting in a new doorway.
I know we're adding a new doorway. Foursquare, have you tried the new Roosevelt Commons area?
I haven't tried it.
Oh, you gotta take a look. It's cool stuff. It's got good stuff.
No, he's
I'd love
a
just
pool.
to
It's a
continue.
pool
I know we
kid.
spoke about this. I see it's being used. Let's track the uses. Let's make sure that people.
Yeah, I know that Jamie Cannon and Recreation have started the reservation program, membership and reservation, like they do for tennis. So I'll ask her for an report on how that is going. And then one final thing on the Roosevelt Commons, the Little League complex, we have the grant to do the infield. The mayor sent me something earlier today with a possible grant opportunity to upgrade lighting at sports facilities to LED lighting. So I'm going to look into that at the mayor's direction to see if that would qualify, if our Little League field would qualify for that. The lights over there are about 20 years old. The power keeps tripping the electric, and a lot of times it'll shut the lights down. That would be an expensive proposition, but if there's a grant that could substantially pay for that,
Great.
I'll bring that back to the council.
I just have one, sorry, go ahead, John.
Just want to also thank you, David, for the work on the pond. Obviously, that pond's been cleared. You can see it now. Looks good, and I'm abundantly confident the electric will be done to get the fountain up and going.
Fountain was running this morning.
That's part of the day. Fantastic.
So, but yeah, we're working on that, and I'll find out where it stands.
A question for the downtown committee. Christmas tree lighting, have you guys picked out a date yet, or is that still in flux for the actual lighting?
So we can knock it out here. I don't know. I think we're still on we said the 26th.
Right now, we're looking at the 26th. At like
Isn't
5:30.
26 the problem?
26th is, you have a council meeting at 7.
So there is, so what's happening on the 26th is,
There's interfaith.
is interfaith that
7:30.
night.
So we actually decided to move in earlier such that it doesn't interfere. It'll still be dark by 5:30. But again, we can change it, but that's what.
So maybe let's have an offline conversation about it. With because some different people are asking off the downtown committee.
Here as well.
Guys,
Right, at 7:30.
Yeah, but that's a whole separate.
But even a little bit earlier.
They don't need to be,
7
oh, in terms of that happening also.
That night, they're doing.
All right, so let's take that conversation offline.
Okay, but let's
Okay.
let's do that. But let's decide this week just so we make
Yeah,
it easy for.
but by tomorrow we can decide it.
Yeah,
All right, next on the agenda, correspondence from Lubavitch. Does anybody have any issues with this? We do this every year. Everyone's good? Okay, Omar, we're good with that? Okay, now it's public comment time. Audience members wishing to speak will have a 3-minute time limit to address the governing body. Any items on or off the agenda, large groups are asked to have a spokesperson represent them. Would anyone like to come up and make any public comments? Hey, Don, just give us your name again.
John Cubic, 131 Oak Street. I have a question about the lift collection. You guys are doing a great job, but we watch the contractors come out and put the lift 10, 12 feet, 15 feet into the street. Is there an ordinance how far they can come out and how they can go? I just saw a guy a while ago put in 8 feet about higher than me.
Right on the curb or away from the curb?
Away from the curb, but he's about 10 feet
Right.
and about this high. How can they go this way and make, so
No, that's a good point. We must have
Is there
rules
an
about
ordinance
that.
How far they can come from the curb?
Which street was that on?
On Oak.
On Oak.
And then Westerberg, 2 days ago.
Okay.
You can hardly go through because we're on both sides of the street and not 12, 15 feet out.
All right. We don't, we don't have rules around where you put the leaves.
We don't have the definition of what it needs to put back.
Okay, that gives us something to look at. I appreciate that. Thank you. Who else, would anyone else like to make any public comments or have questions? Yes, young man, come on up. When you come up to the microphone, just give us your name, not your address.
Yeah. Hello. Sorry.
What's your name?
My name is Dave Singh, and I'm a 7th grader currently here in Tenafly Middle School. I was born and raised in this town, and my family has been here for over 10 years, around 15 now. So I wanted to talk a bit about the Tenneco pool and the possibilities of keeping it open. So I'm going to share a little bit on what it means to me. The Tenneco pool. I've been there since I was 4 years old, and I'm now 13, so I've been there for about 9 years. I learned how to swim there, and today I still swim competitively on many different teams. including the town pool team over the summer. It's a great place to make friends. I made a ton of friends there, and I know some people that I'm still friends with today in middle school. Job opportunities. I was really looking forward to when I grow up and I had the opportunity to become a volunteer lifeguard at the pool. I could do that as a summer job. And over the summer, after summer enrichment, which is this course, I'm pretty sure all of you know, it gets pretty boring because in the afternoon you have nothing to do. So I would go down to the pool for like 4 hours every day, swim, hang out with friends, amazing time. And yeah, the day would just be very boring without the pool. And I know Cresco Pool is there and all, but it's like not the same as Tenneco because Tenneco is an easy access to all residents who can just walk down, bike down, and just have a nice time. And lastly, we can't close the pool till we beat Cresco one day. We're gonna beat them someday, and I know it's coming. Thank you.
Good point. Pretty good.
Thank you. Okay, who else would like to speak? Come on up to the microphone, Janet.
Hi, I'm Janet Kim. First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for putting the time and resources into exploring the possibility of operating Tenneco as a municipal pool. Thank you for releasing the survey a few weeks ago to gauge the level of community support for such an endeavor, and thank you for making the decision to winterize the pool recently as well. I represent a larger group of individuals who have been members of Tenneco before its recent closure. We had not served on the Tenneco board, but we had been actively involved, particularly in supporting Tenneco's swim team. And we're very excited about the prospect of Tenneco becoming a municipal pool and are eager to contribute to its success. Should the decision be made to turn Tenneco into a municipal pool, we're ready to form a Friends of the Pool organization that could work in close partnership with the borough, similar to how the library has an affiliated organization called Tenafly Library Friends. Indeed, we have already begun supporting the borough's efforts by helping spread the information about the survey that was created by the borough. We, for example, shared information about the survey to families of all 6 schools via the HSAs. We posted flyers at the library, the senior center, and businesses downtown. And we engaged in conversations with community members at the recent Fall Fest in October. Should Tenneco become a municipal pool, we will be able to provide support in many more ways. For example, we can help with intense promotion efforts and membership drives. We can help with the swim and dive team. We can help organize special community programming at the pool throughout the summer. And we can help with fundraising efforts as well. As you continue to think about the best way forward, please know that we are happy to serve as thought partners. We're happy to have discussions with you and the various borough departments and committees about concrete ideas for programming and events that could enrich the community of Tenafly, as well as about revenue-generating ideas that could contribute to the town's budget. If Tenneco becomes a municipal pool, it truly could be the center of Tenafly community activity during the summer months. Again, thank you very much for recognizing the importance of preserving the pool and all that it has to offer for the community of Tenafly, and for thoughtfully considering the possibility of turning Tenneco into a municipal pool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come up to the microphone, sure, if you'd like to speak. Just give us your name, not your address, please.
Hi there, good evening. My name is Imran Ram. Also want to talk about the Tenneco Pool. I'll be short. I've been living here for 8 years. I have 3 girls, ages 15, 12, and 9. We've been here, as I said, 8 years. We discovered Tenneco around 4 years ago in the middle of COVID. And as I said before here, it's become a community center for us. It's where we go swim team, where we go diving, where we meet on weekends. There's pep rallies, there's family nights, there's kid nights, there's floaty hours for the kids. We spend almost all our summers there. It's a great place for the kids. We love the fact that we can bike there, we can walk back and forth. And one thing I think I can give as a special perspective is that we're also JCC members. We're part of the Israeli Jewish sub-community here. And we're both JCC members and Tenneco members. I don't think it replaces one another. JCC is a business. It all has a lot of limitations. It closed on Saturdays. There's always camps. There's always swim lessons. Tenneco is much more of a community. I think that's about all I wanted to say. I think what Tenneco is a large part of what makes Tenafly home, and not just a commuter town. So once again, I think we Appreciate you guys thinking about
Thank
us, and have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Hi, Sharon Chen. I have not been a part of the Tenafly pool yet. I moved here 4 years ago in the height of COVID, and the first neighbor that I met when summer started and he was carrying a towel, I was like, oh, there's a pool here. I've been part of a town pool my entire life growing up, not far from here, and it was just always a thing. And he was like, yeah, there's a great pool in Crestkill. You should totally go there. 4 years later, he's still a member, and that's where they go. They have no children. They're an older couple, and that's just where they choose to go, and it's a shame. My kids go to Recky's camp. They're not at a sleepaway camp. They're not at a all-day camp. They're not on a bus camp. They are at an affordable camp for me at, Recky's. And when I left the house, my son's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm gonna go make sure we go to the pool next summer. And he's like, well, can you, tell them about the bathrooms? And I'm like, all right, we're gonna, hopefully make sure it stays open and we can go back there. And also maybe they'll do something, to make it more desirable. And at the end of the day, at the rate that it was over the last 4 years, I work from 9 to 5, which means if the pool is open from 5 to 7 when I'm available to take my kids, it's a 20% chance I'm going to take them out of the house at 5 o'clock to 7 on Monday to Friday to make it to the pool. So hopefully, if we're in town on those few weekends and it's a nice weekend, then that's probably where I'm going to go. And at the rate that it was, or at the daily rate of $50 a day to take, 2 kids to the pool and myself at $150, like you feel like you need to spend the entire day there as opposed to just be able to stop by the pool every day or have the flexibility to go whenever you want to go. And yes, if it was more affordable and compared to, the kids that attend Recky's, the same amount of families that go to Recky's should be the same amount of families that sign up for camp. And every year at Recky's, there's a wait list. I've been waitlisted there because I signed up late and I paid the extra fee, but that's the camp my kids can go to. And I think that it's really important, with having the surveys go out, only 6% of the people signed up. I don't know how many kids are in Recky's or how many families that accounts for, but the same families that go there and get picked up by whoever it is at 3 o'clock want to be able to continue on and to go to the pool. People like, come work from the pool. I can't work at the pool. I cannot watch my children while I'm on a laptop and working at the pool. But if it was more affordable, I'd say, you know what? I'll leave work a few minutes early. We'll go for an hour and a half at the end of the day. We'll put every effort to go on every single sunny day and have the pool be full and have the kids enjoy it and feel like it's a pool that we want to, whatever the rate is, like we're happy to pay it because it doesn't feel like, it's a subpar pool to the town over where if we pay a little bit more as non-residents, oh, it's nicer. We're not signed up for Cresco. We don't want to go there. I live here. This is the pool I want to go to.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name's John Flack. I won't give you my address, but I do live in the city, and I'm also here to talk about Tenafly Pool. I was asked to come. I'm a pastor in the city, and one of my parishioners asked me to come to the pool one day, and so we went to the pool and had a great day. And the next year, I was a member of the pool, and we've been coming pretty much every day ever since. I will say, as an aside, the pool really needs Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi would mean that every single mom and dad who work from home would be there all the time, and then they would go to Stop and Shop like I do to get their groceries on the way home, and then maybe go to a couple of other little stores, get coffee or dinner or whatever else you might do while you're there. But the thing I want to really talk about with the pool is 2 things that I've noticed there. The first is sort of an intergenerational space. As a pastor, I realize that there are very few spaces like that left, where you really are in contact with people of different age groups, mingling and doing different sorts of things. And that can really should happen because of public investment. It's a public good, the pool. It's for the village. It's for everybody who lives here, and I guess people like me, who are friends of people who live here. And the second thing I noticed is sort of the ways that the kids, as they grow older, become leaders. The kids that were teaching my kids how to be swimmers started as little swimmers there. The lifeguards who were there started as little swimmers there, and the leadership development and the kind of care and concern for a community, I saw, teenagers like suddenly find out what responsibility meant and what it meant to be a leader and what it meant to take care of other kids. And those are sort of invaluable skills that I think happen organically in a community center like the pool. So I really hope that you guys continue to have the pool so I can continue spending my summers here and my evenings. And if there was Wi-Fi, I'm sure my wife would work all day here. So I just want to put those things out for you. And I just want to say thank you for considering making a municipal pool, which I think would be great. It's really to your advantage.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Tristan Tafoya. You don't need my address?
No address.
So, good evening, members of the council. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today about another community resource, and that is the pool. So I will preface by saying that I also was not a member of the Tenafly pool ever. And I will say that my wife and I came from a slightly larger town in Kansas, where growing up, the cost of admission was $1 a day. So before I came to the meeting tonight, I looked to see what the current daily rate is. It's $4.50 or $15 a day for a family of 4. So that said, with that background in mind, when we moved here and looked into the pool prices, we were shocked to see how expensive the Tenafly pool was. Not just the price for the annual admission, but also the bond, which we were very unfamiliar with. And I know from the very minute that we moved here 8 years ago, there had been questions about the solvency of the pool, which came to fruition, right? So I don't think that those people probably got their bond back, and I probably patted myself on the back for not spending the bond money because I wasn't going to get it back. The other reason that we didn't decide to join the pool, though, was that because of the poor state of facilities. The bathrooms in particular had exposed rusted metal in the stalls, and it was really a safety hazard. So I didn't want my kids running around there. And with that background, we joined the JCC for one summer, but because of the it not being open on Shabbat, it really didn't work for us well. And then we joined the Haworth pool for 2 summers as well, which has better facilities. But my kids were always complaining that all of their friends were here in Tenafly, which of course they were. So with that background in mind, I just say that the pool is it should be more than just a place to swim. As the previous speaker said, it should be a cornerstone of the town's well-being and community. And it should serve as a hub where families get to meet their neighbors. And there's intergenerational space where both older people and younger people can coalesce and get to know each other. But beyond its social value, the pool provides immeasurable benefits to the community. And I'd just concentrate on 3 key reasons why the town should consider taking over operations of the pool. And why it's a necessary investment in the town's future. The first is the public health reason. So swimming is one of the most effective forms of exercise, improving both cardiovascular health and reducing the risk of obesity. And for many residents, the pool should be a low-cost option and a low-impact way to exercise. And I think this is particularly true for children and seniors that have limited recreational options. The second reason I think is because of the economic and social impact, as the previous speaker stated. Anytime we go to the pool, we're always ordering takeout that day, right? But not only that, I know that there are a contingent from Washington Heights that comes over every summer, and they're part of that community that have made Tenafly for some reason, their second home in the summer. And I think that's really neat, and it allows for diversity and everything between our cities. And then the final reason that I'd add, and it's probably the most important, is that swimming saves lives. Swimming lessons rather save lives. So according to a CDC media release from May of this year, which I'd ask get shared with the members here and particularly put in the public record, drowning is the leading cause of accidental death in children ages 1 through 4. And more people are drowning per year in the U.S. By an average of more than 500 more than what was happening pre-COVID. So there had been an actual decrease in the number of people that are able to swim since COVID happened, since everybody was at home. And I think it's great to do things like the skate park and pickleball courts and foursquare courts. But in the grand scheme of things, this city has a moral obligation, I think, to subsidize the learning of critical life skills for its children. And so by saving the pool, we're helping to ensure the water safety of our children and empower them with a skill that they'll carry for life and pass on to their own kids as well. So I just close by saying that I understand that running the pool comes with costs, but these costs pale in comparison to the benefits and the costs of losing the pool. So by saving the pool, you're investing in the health, safety, and future of Tenafly. And accordingly, I implore the council to consider taking over the pool's responsibilities, operations, and if needed be, subsidizing its future. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyone else in the council chambers want to make any public comments? No, Omar. Okay, so let's see if there's anyone on Zoom who would like to make the public comment. There is?
Yes.
Jenny, you want to speak?
Yes. Hello. Hi.
And then the gentleman will go.
Yes. I'm Jenny Jackson. And I think everyone made really great points. and I don't need to repeat them. But I do want to add something and emphasize something that was said, which was that from a business perspective, Tenafly is supportive of our town because we are keeping residents in town enjoying our town. And from personal experience, I ordered, and like however trivial this is, I just want to bring it up that I ordered more takeout that summer in Tenafly than I ever have, and that I do during the year because the kids were playing in the pool all day and I was there, and there is a very relaxed and welcoming like environment around bringing food to the pool and staying and playing all day there. And so my kids, we also ordered food from the beautiful snack bar there, which I think is also an opportunity area to help to increase revenue at the pool. So anyway, I just wanted to add that Tenafly is
Okay, this is your jacket.
oh, hello, someone else.
I think we need
That's not
to
me.
see someone. Yeah. Continue on, Jenny.
Yeah, that it's a resource, an important resource to our town that keeps people in town enjoying our town, and also now that we'll have this great park across the way, that will continue to enhance that area as an overall destination for people to enjoy. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And the gentleman wants to speak?
Yeah, thanks so much. Hi, everybody. Thanks for making time to have this conversation. My name is Keith. I've been a Tenafly resident for 16 years. I'm a native New Yorker, so as a kid, I remember visiting Jersey towns and them having pools. And my New York town did not have a pool, so for Jersey superiority reasons, I think we should continue with the pool concept. And Jersey pride reasons notwithstanding, but the serious conversation I think here, some wonderful topics have been brought up. My family has been a member of the pool for more than 10 years. My daughter swims competitively as a result of learning to swim at Tenafly and then moving on to the JCC and then swimming in USA swimming meets. It's been a wonderful experience for her. I think that the Reckies program, which someone very eloquently talked about, is enhanced significantly by the pool's accessibility. And I think without the pool, Reckies is not as effective of a camp. So I think that the fact that the Reckies kids can visit the pool is a huge upside for Tenafly. And if the pool is not available, I think Reckies is a less effective program overall. I also wanted to share, I think there have been some wonderful points raised on very serious aspects. Just colloquially, I will offer like the ability to keep kids off screens and to have kids connected to other kids in this post-pandemic world, and raising 3 kids myself. I think it's a wonderful thing that the pool is here to have kids be connected and disconnected from their phones and connected to other human beings. And you see that really in the pool and like no other place in Tenafly. I want to thank Janet for her leadership on the issue, and thanks the town for considering making a municipal pool.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Okay, we're going to close public comment at this time, and just so everyone knows about the pool. So we're going to be having a conversation in closed session tonight regarding the pool issues, and then the next meeting is November 26th. November 26th, open session to discuss the financial aspects that we'll have from our auditors at that point. Okay, so please come to the next meeting, November 26th. Okay? Let's open, right? It's going to be open. Yeah. All right, thank you. Okay.
Give it to Omar.
Let's go on to the consent agenda.
Take care, Reg.
Could I get a motion to approve resolution R24-480 through R24-503? Can I have a second?
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Nope.
We're going to make those changes.
Yeah, there was a couple of typos that.
Oh, go ahead.
Omar has them. It's just-
Sorry, we're going to do.
Thank you.
They already changed.
Yeah, why we're doing it, yeah.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, so if I wanted to have a couple of resolutions.
Which ones do you want to pull out?
495 and 503, just for separate votes.
what you said,
495.
95 and
495 and 503.
Okay.
503.
All right.
Borough attorney contract and the borough engineer contract.
Okay. Could I get a motion to approve resolution R24-480 through R24-494, R24-496 through R24-502?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Leary?
Okay, Councilman Menon, do you have a question or something you want to say on 495?
So on 495, there, that's to amend the contract to increase the amount budgeted for the borough attorney by 25,000. Just want to know what the reasons are. How much. What the background is for that.
Yeah, there's been a few issues that have, involved some in-depth legal research and opinion that was not anticipated when we finalized the budget back in March, namely the sign ordinance. There's the new COA legislation that Wendy is dealing with, and the liquor license, the RFP for the post office parking lot, a number of things.
Police matter.
So, what we will do is that will inform as we move forward in 2025 to see if we're adequately budgeting for legal, and your second resolution is about engineering likewise, see if that needs to be increased or stay where we are. If it was just an anomaly that we had increases this year or next year.
Okay.
With the engineering one, you had mentioned earlier about wanting to get like all-in costs.
Yes.
Is that part of this?
Well, that's the resolution tonight is that we had budgeted $70,000 for general engineering, and they've exceeded that with a number of things. With engineering, whenever there's a question that comes before council and you ask Andy to look into something, that has now been habitual, that starts at $10,000. I get a proposal and it's $10,000 to look into this or $10,000 to look into that. So I think, and I know that the mayor has directed me and Omar to do RFPs for professionals for 2025. One of the things that we are looking at is to potentially look at a project engineer that would supplement and be focused on some projects that would not necessarily go all in with the borough engineer, would be automatic default.
And that would lower the cost
That
for
would be-
engineering overall.
Yeah.
I mean, the cost of engineering has actually skyrocketed, not just
Yes.
with Colliers. But we
Yes.
now have a traffic engineer. We have two or three different engineers that we're
Yeah, and to that
special
point,
projects
with traffic engineering, I think on the agenda tonight was $7,500 for Brightview. But if you recall, we asked him to look at Leroy. We asked him to look at a crosswalk on Hillsdale, and other things that we refer. So that is sort of just keeping in check as we refer stuff that we've got to put a cost factor limit to what they're going to expend to do that, or else it becomes, sort of something that they're going to just grow into $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the council especially should be reminded that every time we ask for something new, there's a legal cost and there's an engineering cost, and this again, it blows up the budget far more than a lot of other things do. So we should be aware of it, and I think. Obviously it's too late for this year, but that needs to be changed.
Yes.
Would we impose the limit?
Yeah, you could, if
Say,
you're going
we'll
to give
get
them
this up
something.
until-
Basically, what I would propose is you would do a resolution that would have a not to exceed number that you would put right into the resolution. It has to be realistic and fully take in what you're asking them to do. But yeah, I would say that you would set a limit that way, and they would have to justify if there's some reason why they can't produce what you're asking them within that block.
Okay, any other questions about those two resolutions? Okay, could I have a motion to approve Resolution R24-495 and R24-503?
So moved.
Have a second? Omar, please call the roll.
Sure. Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Menon?
Abstain on both.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Roller?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Public hearings now. Ordinance 2431, amend Schedule B area and bulk regulations. Omar, could you please read the confirmation of publication of the ordinance and the title?
Sure. Ordinance number 24-31. It was published in the Sunday, October 27th edition of the Record. It's an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 35 entitled Land Development Regulations, Attachment 11 entitled Schedule B Area Bulk Regulations, and the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Tenafly.
I'd like to open the floor for public comments on ordinance 24-31 only. Omar, do you see anyone in the chambers or on Zoom?
See no hands, Mayor.
Okay, close public comments. Councilwoman Corsair, would you like to make a motion?
To pass and adopt on second and final reading, ordinance 24-31, and that notice of same shall be published according to the law.
Could I have a motion, second, please?
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Roller?
So on the next one, on the flagpoles one, just, there's, it's a little bit messy. There's a couple of things that need to be
What do you mean? What's your question?
cleaned up. So if you read through the red parts, notwithstanding any other provisions of this chapter, flagpoles are a flagpole is. So, there's things that need to be cleaned up is the language. Oh, sorry.
Planning board, but if there's a typo, we can certainly
So
fix it.
just the
That's not an
typos,
issue.
right? I think that's all it is.
The first read.
Yes, yeah, that's a typo.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, we can,
Ready?
Right.
Okay.
yes.
All right. Omar, could you please read the confirmation of publication of the ordinance and the title of the ordinance?
Sure. Ordinance number 24-32 was published in the Sunday, October 27th edition of the Record. It's an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 35 entitled Land Development Regulations, Article 8 entitled Zoning Regulations, Section 35-802.20 entitled Flagpoles, and the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Tenafly.
I'd like to open the floor for public comment on ordinance 2432. Omar, do you see anyone in the chambers or on Zoom here looking to make a comment?
See no hands.
All right, public comment is closed. Councilman Rolieri, would you like to make a motion, please?
Pass and adopt on second and final reading, ordinance 24-32, with the notice of same shall be published according to law.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Roller?
Okay, ordinance 2433, amend regulations pertaining to parking within front yard setbacks. Omar, could you please read confirmation of publication of the ordinance and the title of the ordinance?
Sure. Ordinance number 24-33 was published in the Sunday, October 27th edition of the Record. An ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 35 entitled Land Development Regulations and Article 8 entitled Zoning Regulations, Section 35-804.4 entitled Location and Improvement of Required Parking and Loading Facilities, and the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Tenafly.
I'm going to open the floor for public comment on ordinance 2433. Anyone in the ordinance here or on Zoom? Omar?
See no hands.
Going to close public comment. Council President Michaels, would you like to make a motion, please?
Yes, I move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 24-33, and notice the same shall be published according to law.
Have a second, please. Omar, could you please conduct a roll call?
Councilmember Corsair?
Yes.
Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Broler?
Yes.
I feel like I'm on C-SPAN here. 24-34, 22 Leslie Place easement. Omar, could you please read the confirmation of publication of the ordinance and the title of the ordinance?
Ordinance number 24-34 is published as a Sunday, October 27th edition of the record. It's an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly in Bergen County providing for the acceptance of a deed easement from 22 Leslie Tenafly LLC for a drainage easement on block 2507 and lot 6.
Okay, I'd like to open the floor for public comment on ordinance 24-34 only. Omar, do you see anyone in the chambers or on Zoom looking to make a public comment?
I see no hands, Mayor.
I'm going to close public comment. Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor, would you like to make a motion, please?
Sure, thanks. I move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 24-34, and that notice of same shall be published according to the law.
Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Omar, please call the roll.
Councilmember Corsair? Yes. Councilmember Menon?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Broler?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Next is old business, the signage ordinance draft.
Question about this? Can I ask now or?
Now's the time.
Okay, so this came from the planning board. So my question had to do with the second bullet about the only allowing the welcome to Tenafly sign. Am I reading that correctly? At the corner of 9W and East Clinton? Like not to eliminate any other temporary billboard signs. And I just wanted to ask about that because I think that's where, if memory serves me right, you have the Armenian church always advertised there about their festival, as does the Greek, festival. And those are like very key points for a couple of our churches and stuff for the fundraising they do at the corner there. So that's the one I just thought the council might want to consider. So I know these are recommendations from the planning board, so I want to.
So I don't think,
So
Mayor?
these are recommendations.
I'm sorry. One at a time.
No. Oh,
I was just saying that these are recommendations to the ordinance that were made at the planning board meeting.
they actually were not. They were recommendations for a discussion at the mayor and council meeting, right, Mayor?
Yeah, so, right,
These are not their recommendations.
Yeah, the planning board is not saying do this. The planning board is saying, here's some ideas, guys, knock it around. That's
And
more.
this is a piece of the broader sign ordinance.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't want to have they didn't have an opinion one way or the other, and they thought that.
Right, so the issue became, right, so 9W and East Clinton were littered with signs this year. They were
Disgusting.
everywhere, okay? It's a presidential year, lots of candidates, we got a lot of things going on in town in terms of events. And so one of the ideas that the committee we were talking about was, what if we eliminated all signage up on 9W in East Clinton, and just had the Welcome to Tenafly sign. Planning board did not pass take a vote to pass a resolution to do that. Right. It was like, what do you guys think?
So I'll tell you my thoughts, my first thoughts on this when I read it was that these are one-off situations and they're really temporary. I'm worried if you say just welcome to Tenafly. I'm not particularly passionate, but I always worry about unintended consequences because people are worried about one particular set of a few weeks in one particular year. And I am thinking about all of our institutions that really use that corner to advertise their once in a lifetime event.
I agree with you.
Okay, so
Renew?
that's where my head was at.
So just to let you know, it doesn't say it here, but one of the changes they did recommend was to go from 3 billboard signs to 6 billboard signs at each of the locations. So
As a limiting factor.
As a limiting factor.
Because right now, there's no limit to how many
right
billboards.
now,
there is a
right now,
limit.
there is a limit. It's 3.
But technically,
but
yeah.
we never actually
We never enforce it.
Enforce that.
Right, so that's why.
There's got to be pre-made spots.
What?
It's got to be pre-made spots. It's a free-for-all. It's disgusting.
Right, so the recommendation is that we go from, on the books, from 3 to 6 billboards, that's it.
We were enforcing it.
So
But how do you allocate 6? Let's say you had.
Well, just 7 people are running.
Right, what do you do?
Then
It's
we're
the
gonna put
first 6, first serve?
No, you can't.
No,
I'm not sure that's legal.
I don't know, you're getting into constitutional First Amendment issues.
I think
We're gonna go from
agree
3 to
with
6.
Julie's point that, yes, it was absolutely disgusting for a month.
Yeah.
But for the 11 months of the year.
They're not
and the
there.
12 months for the 3 years that it's not a presidential election. You want to make sure the great church when they have an event and the JCC when they have an event, and that there's a reason why that's
The Christmas.
All right, so obviously that idea is dead.
All right.
So I mean, I don't disagree. I was just, I was just kind of bringing out what the.
But we gotta have spots or an organization with like something to organize them. You can't just be like, yeah, you can go put it up and then some random.
They still have to get permits.
No. That part's fine. It's just it's free range when you get up there. Oh, this spot's open. Oh, this spot's open, and then it's just.
Well, maybe we should put an electronic billboard up there, then everyone just rents, 5 seconds on electronic, it just circulates. What?
Digital real estate.
Digital real estate, 1 billboard. Yes. Yeah.
Right, yeah, so the two things that they.
It's not
wanted-
insane.
I think the 2 things that they wanted guidance on, one was, do we want signs, first, it was the question of 9W. If we weren't going to have signs at 9W, would we have wanted a different location, to have the 4 signs? So we've answered that question. The other question was about the sign committee. Right now, members of the sign committee are 2 members of the governing body and 1 member of the Tenafly Chamber of Commerce. I should ask the borough attorney, was that always in there as the Tenafly Chamber of Commerce? So that's a pre-existing, it wasn't something that came up.
Downtown committee or something?
No, it was always the Chamber of Commerce and 2 council folks. In fact, I think this year was the first time that Mayor Zena actually had to appoint people because something,
There was never.
issues came up, but it's a committee that rarely gets used.
Right.
Okay.
But because it's there, it was left.
So then the question was, are we happy with the sign committee being 2 members of the governing body and the Tenafly Chamber of Commerce, or should it be the 2 members and the downtown committee, or should it be an independent, somebody just from the community, something like that? That was the other question.
The Chamber of Commerce.
So far, it's worked well. No, they haven't had.
Well,
issues.
we haven't appointed it. We haven't used it.
So far, so good. There's no problems. Let's not, Any other questions about this? What's the next step with this draft?
So the next step would be to bring it forth now for the council to vote on. So it could be introduced on the 26th for second reading in December.
Public hearing would be December 17th.
But again, you haven't shared the adjustment.
Yeah,
We're
because we haven't
removing
seen
the
it.
second bullet.
No, so the planning board has already reviewed it and taken, moved forth with it with some recommendations for you all to consider on whether you wanted to make changes, but it's coming up from the planning board, so it doesn't have to go back down again.
So for instance, as a council, we spoke about the situation where the industrial park had a different rule than the business park.
So in this draft, all of the all of the signs in that area are all consistent. The regulations of the size of the letters, the color of the awnings, all that is now moved into a zoning ordinance. And it's all consistent in the commercial, the downtown business areas, all of it is going to be the same.
So,
I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's in their packet right here.
I thought there should be a draft in your packet, no?
No.
It's just one page.
Oh, no. there's-
no,
I've
it's
got the
keep
whole
going.
thing here.
Yeah,
Scroll.
scroll up. So, Wendy?
Okay, so the council has to get the whole thing, make sure everyone has the whole thing.
Mayor, am I wrong? I remember that we didn't vote on it.
We didn't vote on it.
In the planning board.
We did not vote on it.
So this does have to go back for us to vote on it there.
Yeah, the planning board didn't vote on this.
Did they find any consistency with the master plan?
I think we probably said the usual, it's not inconsistent with.
That's all they need to weigh in on.
I think that's what we said, but there was no.
So you're
Wait
saying
a minute,
that
hold
doesn't
on,
have to go
hold
back
on,
to
hold on. We did vote on, but no,
Did we?
we did a
It
roll
says
call, the
us
motion was
one.
carried unanimously.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
Right.
Question.
What?
okay, yeah.
That's in the code enforcement.
Wendy, the third point, to determine who will issue violation notice and remove the non-conforming signs. Does that go with the right-of-way signs, the lawn signs?
Say that again, what?
Lawn signs, right-of-way, the people who put the lawn signs in the right-of-way, that enforcement has to come back.
Yeah, we
Hard.
did it based on, I
It's
think,
bad.
footage.
Sidewalk, curb, the lawn signs.
I'm sorry, is that
Hold
in the
hold on,
memo?
hold on, we have to,
Or are you just asking what's in the ordinance?
what
The
page,
memo,
where are you?
what does that mean? The
He's talking
third,
about the
third point.
bullet where it
Does
says
that,
violation notice, non-conforming.
and remove non-conforming signs, does that also apply to lawn signs, or is this just for the
Yes,
billboards?
no, that is temporary signs.
So even lawn
So-
signs?
Lawn signs are temporary signs.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's all, it always goes back to enforcement.
Yep.
So the permanent signs are being moved into zoning, into the zoning code, and the temporary signs remain in the same chapter.
Which is billboards
Which is
and lawn signs.
code enforcement.
Oh, so that.
Yeah, so this
that's
is
why
actually,
so much of this come out here, because you moved it into.
this is actually an issue.
Do we have the zoning? Thing in here?
It was supposed to be in your packet all as one. So in the same ordinance, it removes things out of it, what is it, chapter 14?
Yep.
And moves it into the zoning ordinance.
Go down to
Okay,
page
so,
26.
okay, hold on a second. This is a major problem here,
Page 26. Adam.
about signs being removed in the right of way. We don't want that.
Yes, we do.
So that will start the chaos again of the zoning officers taking signs off your lawn, but not
No,
his
not
lawn.
lawns,
Your lawn is not the right of way.
the right-of-way.
The right of way is, the borough parks, locations where.
No, 10 feet from this curb,
All along the sidewalks where,
Yep.
people put the signs.
or whatever the right-of-way is.
Okay,
What?
Yeah, exactly.
So-
I
so-
agree with Mark.
Right.
I agree with Mark.
yeah, we don't, okay.
No, the grass between the sidewalk and the curb.
So here's the thing. Well, we want a situation where if someone puts a sign up on their front lawn, no one's taking it down.
Absolutely.
End of the story.
Absolutely.
So we can't talk about right of ways, about easements, all that. Maybe we can talk about how many feet from the street, from the blacktop, but that's not what it says in there.
That needs to be
Yeah, we don't
revisited.
want
It was,
that'll just
it was
create chaos.
so bad this season.
What I'm saying is, I'm on your side. You should be able to put whatever you want on your property, regardless of the rights of way. Right. Right. So this has to be changed.
However, even if it fits to your point, even if we switch it to wording where it says from the street, and I'm not sure we want to
So
switch
we
it to
need to
that,
review this first.
then yes,
Okay.
it'll still be a
It's just an
problem.
enforcement issue. It's
Yeah.
not a good use of borough resources on my property. I'm 8 feet in and someone's like, hey,
What?
take the side out, it's just kind of.
No,
Oh, it
but
doesn't-
if
we better
it's,
review this again, yeah.
if it's blatant, yes.
We don't want this to be engineering.
Because this is one of those situations where it's like, you let it slide, it's gonna keep happening.
You're getting some more problems removing signs up there. And
It's worth dealing with.
No,
There was only one person who ever complained. 2019.
Okay, more work to be done on that,
They
obviously.
gotta come down.
Okay, next
No
on the
more, it's
agenda
disgusting.
are the minutes. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes of October 22nd, 2024, Mayor and Council meeting?
I'm sorry, can we just go back 1 second? Because the part that you are looking to do a little bit more work on is part of the chapter 14. However, the zoning part of it that went to the planning board, that is all, I just want to make sure that.
I think we need to have another to-be-considered conversation about this once we make additional edits, after an offline conversation. All right? Okay, so a motion to approve those minutes, October 22nd, 2024. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this next topic, for the good of the order, I'm recommending we actually strike this from the agenda because we never use it.
What do you have? You see it?
Anything you want.
You want to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
As a whole, yeah.
Want to talk about the weather? You want to do weather vane? Okay, so is everybody okay with us removing this permanently from the agenda?
Yes.
Wonderful.
What happened, so, again, we do a good job with each other. We can always go to the borough administrator on any topics we want to talk about. So this doesn't take anything away. I think it just, it
Means you tell them in advance?
yeah, you just have to be prepared.
You have to be prepared.
I'm good with that.
Right, right.
on the agenda, it's not discussed.
So,
Right.
so
Yes.
just for everyone's
Bingo.
education, what we'll do is adopt a new form of agenda at reorg so that it's official moving forward.
Good. All right, upcoming meetings, anyone have any comments about that? No, okay. New business, where is that? Hold on. Okay, introduction of ordinance reappropriating American Rescue Plan obligations, ordinance 24-35. Councilman Menon, would you like to make the motion here, please?
I move to introduce on first reading ordinance 24-35 and set the hearing for November 26, 2024 at 7:30 PM or as soon thereafter.
Could I have a second, please? Omar, could you please read the title of the ordinance and conduct a roll call?
Sure. Ordinance number 24-35, an ordinance reappropriating $214,575.71 and $179,197.21 proceeds of obligations and $35,378.50 from the local fiscal recovery funds, American Rescue Plan, ARP, not needed for their original purposes in order to provide for other purposes in and by the borough of Tenafly in the county of Bergen, New Jersey. Okay. Councilmember Corsair? Councilmember Minute?
Yes.
Councilmember Michaels?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. O'Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Park?
Yes.
Councilmember Rolieri?
Okay, thank you. In the interest of time, because we have a lengthy closed session, I'm recommending that we skip committee reports tonight and move it to the next meeting. And same with the mayor's remarks, go into closed.
Yeah.
The council okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you please read the closed session language?
It's Resolution R24-504 at a meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on November 12, 2024. Be it resolved that in compliance with NJSA 10:4-12, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Tenafly are going into closed executive session to discuss the following matters: litigation, declaratory judgment action, personnel policy updates, real property potential leases, and we're also adding in the Tenneco Swim Club property and contract negotiations, DPW supervisor contract update. Minutes will be taken in the meeting and released to the public at the time that the matter is resolved.
Can I get a motion to go into closed? Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? See you inside.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, we're good.
You ready, Omar?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to close the public meeting?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Drink